look at beautiful Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the Week 6 home for your New York Jets as they host the Denver Broncos as part of the 2025 NFL International Games. Welcome into Jets Game Day presented by Audi. I'm Caroline Hendershot alongside Bart Scott. We'll check in with Eric Allen in London momentarily. Bart, the Jets are the home team for this upcoming game. How would you like to make London your home for the week?
Hey, it looks like a pretty exciting place. I can't complain. I always wanted to go out there. I've been there before. I'm going to go out and check it out. I think I might just take you up on that and make it a temporary home.
Okay, I'm very jealous of that. Now, the Jets are looking to take on the 3-2 Denver Broncos. They just came out of a really big game, beating the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. How do you make sure that their trip to Tottenham is spoiled?
Well, you have to do the little things. You have to play a complete game because this is a team that's going to fight to the end, has one of the best defenses in all the game. They can shut down everybody. They held the Philadelphia Eagles to under 24 points. So, they are the standard right now, and they're playing at a high level, and the Jets going to have to bring their best game. And there's plenty of interesting matchups within the game within the game.
All right, let's set the table and go out of the tunnel to EA out in London.
Greetings, Caroline and Bart. You're right about a ton of interesting matchups in this ball game. The Jets and the Broncos are facing off for 6 consecutive seasons. It's almost like they're division foes at this point. This will be the 8th time overall in 9 years that the Jets will face the Broncos in regular season play. Now, when you're looking at this matchup, Aaron Glenn brought the team over to London early. He loved the opportunity for the guys to get a full week of preparation here. Harrison Phillips said, this is a time we can lock arms. Quarterback Justin Fields added that we can grow closer and also increase our camaraderie. Perhaps a trip overseas to London is just what the doctor ordered.
All right, well, let's get into our top storylines presented by HCL Tech. Bart, what is your top storyline for this Jets-Broncos matchup?
I have so many, but if I had to just pick one or maybe two, I'm probably going to start with Breece Hall versus this rush defense. Right? Remember a couple of years ago, Breece Hall's 60-yard run up the right side, that game and, how beautiful that was. Breece Hall is going to have to set the tone because he's the Jets' best chance of being able to get explosive plays. And the other one that I'm really concentrated on is the matchup between Patrick Surtain and Garrett Wilson, the rematch. Last year, you can argue that Patrick Surtain got the better of Garrett Wilson, but what did he learn since a year? And we know one thing, that the Denver Broncos are not afraid to give Patrick Surtain to Garrett Wilson all by himself. Garrett Wilson is one of the most elite players in all of football, and I think I'd like to take that matchup. He's going to have to win a couple of those matchups, get some big explosive plays to loosen up the defense and give the Jets an opportunity to get easy scores.
That's going to be a good one to watch. Let's bring in EA once more. EA, what's your top storyline for this matchup?
Caroline and Bart, my top storyline is connections. Aaron Glenn played for Sean Payton in New Orleans in 2008 when he ended his career, and then he was hired by Payton as the Saints defensive backs coach from 2016 to 2020. I asked Aaron Glenn about Payton this week. He said he has meant a lot to me in terms of my coaching career, and obviously he praised what he can do as far as an offensive-minded coach, the way he attacks defenses. So that's going to be an interesting matchup this week. Now, take it one step further to the personnel department. Jets GM Darren Muji, he was hired in January, of course. He spent his first 12 years in the National Football League with the Broncos. And a person that we're going to be hearing from later on here in Jets Game Day, Chris Banjo, the Jets special teams coordinator, well, he was in Denver the past 2 years as well.
Thanks so much, EA. Coming up next on Jets Game Day, we give you an exclusive one-on-one interview out in London. You don't want to miss it. Top Storylines is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
If I told Chris Banjo when he was a young kid growing up in Sugar Land, Texas, that he would be coaching an NFL game in London, England, what would you have said?
I would have said you was lying. I would have definitely said you were lying. Coaching just out the gate, just saying I was coaching, but then you add London and that, definitely wouldn't have believed you. But to have this opportunity and this experience is pretty dope.
What is this experience like for a player? Because you actually did this when you were with the Saints.
Mm-hmm. It's very humbling. It's very humbling. I told the players this morning when we had an opportunity to meet, just not to take these moments for granted. I'm like, we're here playing a kid's game for a king's ransom for work. You know, this is what we get to do, and we get to do it overseas. Being fortunate enough that this is where our job, this is what our W-2 brings us to is pretty cool, you know. So really just being very, very appreciative and grateful and thankful to have that opportunity.
So what brought you to the Saints in 2016?
God's plan. God's plan. I had got released from Green Bay. I got released off IR for that, and then I had a couple of teams that were interested. But funny enough, I ended up having a dream, which is weird enough. I kid you not, I have it in my phone, I can show you. I had a dream that I was playing for the Saints like 3 weeks before I even got cut from Green Bay, which I thought was weird. So whenever the teams had kind of got interested, I felt like it was right to end up going to New Orleans, which ended up being the correct decision to change my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
So the head coach at that time, of course, was Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton is leading the Denver Broncos. That's the team you're going to face this weekend. What was your first interactions like with Payton?
Just no nonsense type of guy. It was pretty black and white, straight to the point, clear cut about what his expectations for you were. And I was able to grasp that from day one and hit the ground running with everything that he expected of me.
Did you guys have a special relationship from the start?
I'll say yes for the fact that I was never in the doghouse. For the fact that I was never in the doghouse. So I think that part was, I was very fortunate enough to not be one of those guys. I don't think it takes much to be in Sean's doghouse sometimes, both good and bad. But I was very fortunate enough to, you know, just be around him, kind of messing with him a little bit. And I think the biggest thing is I was able to earn his trust as a player, regardless of what my role was on the years I was on the team over there.
What did you learn differently from Sean, maybe when you were on his staff, as opposed to being a player?
Just really the details, and I knew that as a player as well when you talk about those details, but now being in those staff meetings, being in the one-on-one conversations with him, how direct and how intentional he is with those details really spoke volumes to me. And now as a coach, really being able to download that understanding of that early in my career.
What about Darren? Is this something that you've talked to him about this week? Because he's a guy who worked his way up over the course of 12 years with the Broncos. He started out as an intern.
Oh, no doubt. No, and we haven't talked, I would say, necessarily about it this week. I think he's always done a great job, at least the early part that I've been here, just kind of being focused on what we got on a week-to-week basis, just trying to make sure we put ourselves in the best position to win. Obviously, I mean, the elephant in the room, knowing that this is the place that we came from, but really I think we're doing our best to kind of look at this as another game and just make sure that we try to get a win in the right column.
You guys definitely want to win, 0-5 to start the year, but your first year as an assistant there in Denver, I think you guys started 1-5,
Mm-hmm.
and included in that mix was a loss to Miami where they put up 70 on the
don't
board.
remind me about
But
that.
no, but the reason why I say that is when you guys are talking about building a foundation, you've seen it happen before, and you've also seen how it can turn.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So for me personally, there's no blinking when it comes to like the situation we're in right now. Just being able to still trust the process, continue to be intentional on a day-to-day basis, and at some point we will earn that right to win. But it's not something that's just going to happen just because we want it to happen. We have to go dictate that on our own terms.
Do you think this can be a great experience for the guys in terms of just getting away? And everybody's been talking about the vibe and you guys being around in meetings. You're not going home.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's here together.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think that intimate type of setting is very, very good when you talk about the development of a group, of development of a team, especially a young team. I think that would be very, very beneficial for the guys now and, you know, later on when the season continues to get harder.
How unique is this week of preparation? Because you know a lot of these guys inside and out.
It's definitely unique for sure. It's definitely unique for sure. But at the same time, it's still, you know, another game on our schedule that we still got to worry about what our process is in regards to how we prepare and how we just get ready for the game.
Keeping the main thing the main thing.
Yes, sir.
What's AG been like from day one to now?
The exact same AG.
Yeah.
When you talk about the passion, the energy, the juice that he brings, the detail orientation that he steps with on a regular basis, I think it's been really, really impactful, not just for me personally, but for the whole team. Obviously, right now, we know we're not where we want to be in regards of just the win-loss column, but when you talk about that foundation being built the correct way, we definitely can feel that in this building for sure.
Chris, appreciate your time
I
as always.
appreciate you.
This exclusive interview is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information. When we return on Jets Game Day, Bart breaks down how the Jets offense can attack the Denver defense. Welcome back to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. As we get closer to kickoff, let's get inside the numbers brought to you by the New York Lottery. Our first number is 75, as in Justin Fields' completion percentage against Denver in his career. In 2 games against the Broncos, Fields has thrown for 5 touchdowns and beat them in week 2 of last season. Our next number is 4, as in the amount of career receiving touchdowns for Andrew Beck after scoring in the flat week 5. Beck also began his career with Denver, spending 4 seasons there. Another fun fact about Andrew Beck: in 2023, as a member of the Houston Texans, Beck scored on an 85-yard kickoff return, making it the longest of his career. Jets fans, your lucky numbers for the week will be 75, 2, 5, 4, and 85. Now time for a film breakdown presented by Moody's with the one and only Bart Scott. Now, Bart, we're going to check in the Jets offense and what you want to see them do more of against this Broncos defense.
Well, I just want to see execution and understanding what you're seeing. And, Justin Fields saw exactly what he was looking for, and he made the proper reads. And it's all about rhythm, timing, and spacing. So if you start here, what we're going to see is this defender here is what we call quarter flats. Quarter flats is off number 2. If number 2 goes out, he goes out with them. But if number 2 disappears, he looks for a new number 2 and expanding. On this side, what it looked like they planned is a cover 2, which is a half safety, and you have a vertical hook guy off number 2 right here. Now, the key is number 3 here. He's reading 3 receiver hook. 3 receiver hook would be number 3 here. He's going to expand as number 3 goes to the flat, but it's going to create a distribution. So what we have here before the play starts, we're going to have a clear out here, and we're going to have what you call a dagger route, sit down in the zone, and the bind that we're trying to put is on this defender right here to make a decision. Does he carry this too long and allows this to sink in? Because on this side, they have what you call quarters. So that means he has a fourth and he has a fourth of the field.
Okay.
So you're reading that. So if they get vertical routes, they have to carry, which leaves this defender on an island. So as the play goes, you're going to see the route distribution, and I'm going to pause it right here. You see this defender is now looking at the new quarter flats guy because he's not going to carry. He's going to take the quarter flat player, which creates a bind for this player here. But this guy doesn't know if he's getting a vertical route, so he has to carry, and then it's going to give just enough time for this guy to expand with this route and for this player to create a void right here. He's going to sit down, and Justin Fields is going to do a great job throwing the football into the pocket, into the hole. So great job. But now we have a great opponent that plays at a very high level. And, this is a team that executes at a high level. They shut down one of the hottest offenses in all of football, and they do it by a lot of trickeration, but they have some tremendous pass rushers in Cooper and Benito, and they don't have to rush 6. They don't have to blitz 6. They can get busy with those guys, but they're going to confuse you and try and mess with your pass protections. By right here, you're going to see they have 2 guys standing up. So you tell me who's the down lineman. These guys here are responsible for counting and identifying which 5 that they're going to block. But what Denver Broncos do a great job of is switching who's the rushers and who's the droppers. So as the play goes on, you're going to see these guys here, they're going to get to their landmarks. And at the end of the day, this is just going to become a cover 4, which 4 underneath, 3 deep. But it confuses Jalen Hurts because he has to figure out, and it also confuses the linemen because you have to threaten them by the snap of the ball. And right here, bam, they get everybody back, everybody can read, 4 underneath, 3 deep. That's basically just cover 3.
Yeah.
Right? So as this play continues to run, you tell me where to go with the football. So this is great route distribution, understanding where the sticks are, not giving up anything deep and free, because I believe that he probably wanted to go here right at the sticks, but he's doing a great job in what we call not falling for the cheese. So as this play continues, Jalen Hurts has to go, and then this is where they're elite. They know they have him up. Jalen Hurts wants to use his feet. You get past quarterback depth, you retreat, and you make the tackle.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Scott, as always, for breaking it down for us. Make sure you stick around, because coming up on Jets Game Day, we will check back in with London one more time before we give you our final thoughts. Stick around. This film breakdown is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL.
Listen, I really love the idea of us getting away, get a chance to get in this hotel, be able to vibe together as a group, be able to understand exactly the things that we have to do, to what we have to work on to improve on where we're at. And our guys are doing a really good job of that.
Yeah, it's probably the closest to training camp, and maybe like more of a college training camp than you probably get in the NFL. The hotel is one thing, but being that we're all in the same building, meetings are in the same building, you living with your coaches and everything, it's much more unique.
One of the main messages is getting to know a new teammate and kind of taking this experience to almost take us back to camp, in a sense of like, we're really all we got out here. So I think it's going to be a really good experience for us, and I think guys are excited about it and kind of looking forward to it. The bonding side of it, as well as obviously the job we got to do while we're over here.
I guess you could say it's a little getaway, from the madness that's happening right now. And I think just, being on this is definitely an advantage, kind of like get to know your team a little bit better. And we're definitely taking it that way too, kind of get away from all the noise, just continue to work out here in this practice field and in those meeting rooms. So it's been good for us.
That was your locker room roundup presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'. Alrighty, it's time to round out this show with a little Make Your Case. Bart, Breece Hall, he has been dominant in the run game and in the receiving game. Will he finally get that elusive touchdown in London?
He has to, and I think it's about time on Big Ben's clock for Breece Hall to go ahead and get his first score of the season. He's been knocking on the door last week, and he just hasn't been able to get through. And these things come in waves. He's a great red zone target, great opportunity for the screen game. Last week we saw the fullback to the flats. The Woody boot is something that's been going on a lot. You see the running back to the flats really fast. Breece catches the ball more natural than any other running back in all of football. Let's get him in the pay dirt.
I like that. Now, Garrett Wilson also on a 3-game touchdown streak. Will he be celebrating in the end zone?
They're going to have to. I mean, you need your 2 best offensive players to make sure that they show up in London. And Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson are those 2 players. And they're going to have to make sure that they put a little bit more on their shoulders and on their back. And then when they get there, they have to set the table, set the stage for everybody else. It's safe to follow. Listen, this is our home for the day. This is called the end zone. Come meet me.
And I hope they get that done and set the tone from that first drive today. All right, we're going to send it back out to EA in London. EA, what are you looking out for in this game, and what are your final thoughts on the matchup?
You guys are so right about Garrett Wilson. He is Mr. Production and Mr. Consistency. By season's end, I expect him to be 7th on the Jets' all-time receptions list. But for my Make Your Case, I'm taking rookie tight end Mason Taylor to have more than 5 receptions here in London against the Broncos. Consider this from the rookie tight end. He had 4 catches against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 5 catches against the Miami Dolphins. He had 9 catches last week against the Dallas Cowboys. He is 2nd on the team with 20 receptions and 175 receiving yards. I expect him to continue his ascension here in London. As far as final thoughts, the Jets have to start faster here overseas. The past 4 games, they've fallen behind by at least 2 scores before scoring their first touchdown. Listen, you're going to have moments of adversity. How are you going to respond to it? We know the Broncos so far this season, they get after the quarterback. They're leading the National Football League with 21 sacks. You want the Jets to have balance offensively. Who's going to have the better rush output? Is it going to be Breece Hall or J.K. Dobbins? I think we're in store for a great matchup. I think the Jets are going to benefit greatly from being here and their bonding experience. That's it from London. Cheers.
Thanks so much, EA. And there you have it, everyone, out in London. Thanks so much for watching Jets Game Day. We hope you enjoy the game, and we will see you next week.